In this episode, we're doing our third Mythbusters session. Let's not just accept something because it's been said so many times that most people believe it. We're going to delve deeper and explore the facts, taking an evidence-based approach. So let's explore learning styles and see whether they're actually helpful for extension. Because if they are, then as enablers of change, we'll want to better understand people's learning styles to help us deliver more effective extension activities.
You may be like me and have come across the idea of learning styles a while ago. They tend to be used in a range of training situations, and I remember being told about them at a training event many years ago. At the time, it kind of made instinctive sense. People are different, and it makes sense that they would learn differently. The learning styles that I first heard about had three categories: that people were either visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learners. It's often abbreviated as VAK. Visual learners were presented as being people who tend to learn better when given information in pictures, charts, or diagrams. Auditory learners were people who learn better when they listen to a lecturer, a podcast, or similar. And finally, kinesthetic learners are those who learn by doing. That is, the hands-on people.
It all sounds quite plausible and reasonable, but the trouble is there is no actual evidence for learning styles. None. And there have been a lot of reviews on this, trying to find some link between effective learning and learning styles. And so far, there is not a single one. Now, we aren't saying that people are all the same. There are obvious differences in people. For example, some people are better at remembering things said, and other people do remember more things when you show them something. But this is not evidence for effective learning. What learning research tells us is that in order to retain information, we have to organize it in a way that's meaningful to us. That is, most of what we learn is connected to meaning, not a particular sensory mode.
In fact, one researcher, Daniel Willingham from the Department of Psychology at the University of Virginia, says that differences in people's approach to learning, interpreted as different learning styles, are actually differences in ability. These differences aren't learning styles, though. He says, ability is that you can do something. Style is how you do it. And there isn't any evidence that style has a significant impact on learning. As one article put it, the more accurate predictor for how well a person will fare in something like a maths learning task is most likely not the degree of match between their preferred learning style and the teaching style, but their past performance on maths tests.
That's right, Denise, but we aren't saying that everyone should be treated the same. People are different. For example, some people are more extroverted than others, and there is good research out there that highlights what does actually help people learn. Kathy Moore, an international training designer, says we would get better results by helping learners structure their learning and gauge their progress, and offering them contextual feedback and reinforcement for gaps.
So following up on that, what does help people learn? Here's a few things to get you thinking, and maybe we'll do another episode on this later because there's quite a bit of research out there. One thing is spaced practice. We forget things quickly. The best way for not forgetting? Practicing at intervals over time. That might initially be a few times a day, then every second day, and then maybe weekly or monthly. Another thing is chunking. Chunking means understanding that working memory is a limited resource. Break things into small bits. Less is more when it comes to learning. There's a few more good tips for learning in the research. So, John, we're definitely going to do an episode on this.
Absolutely, Denise. And a quick tip for what to avoid, apart from learning styles: cognitive overload. Most people try to help people learn too much information too quickly without engaging them in an appropriate context. Cognitive overload just kills learning, so don't do it.
Nice, John. So the next time you hear someone talking about learning styles, remember Scientific support for these theories is lacking. We all want a silver bullet and be able to enable change, but learning and change aren't as simple as learning styles might imply. Tell us how you feel about this by adding a comment below this video. We're conscious that this idea is ubiquitous and we may have ruffled some feathers, but we don't want this just to be a one-way conversation. So please join in by sharing your thoughts and ideas with us.
Thanks, folks, for joining us on this Enablers of Change episode. Remember to subscribe if you'd like to know when new episodes are available. All the best until we meet again.